Hello, today is November 3rd, and I'm almost at my 4th week in Uzbekistan, and I wanted to do a reflection on some of my teaching and personal interests and developments in my time here. So I've been co-teaching. I've really enjoyed that with Liz. She's a teacher from Virginia, and she's actually a professor, so that's been a great opportunity to experience working with the teachers. Worked a lot more in higher education than myself. I think I have a lot of experience working with secondary levels as well, so I bring my own flavor to how I do our teacher trainings. And I think something that I've enjoyed from our time in training different teachers from different parts of Uzbekistan is getting them to engage creatively with tasks. It's something that I have to say, it's one of the things that makes me feel most alive in my life, is when I can allow people to have the space to reflect either personally or with others on how they can express their learning in different modalities. It's just something that makes me really happy. I just do it for fun, and usually you would do it when you have an audience to perform for. So that's part of the process of creativity. So I made a poem on the spot about a theorist named Lev Vygotsky, and people really liked it. And it had a melody to it as well, and the syllables were counted correctly, and I was just very happy to see that, because I love these kinds of poetic, creative ways of expression. And then other groups decided to present their learning at the end of each module. Every module is about 2 days. They wanted to do it in a skit, or as a talk show, or as a rap. People took different approaches. So I just like that, and I want to do more of that. It actually made me think of a really good song that I like here by a Russian artist. And it's basically a hip-hop song, and I want to remake it to one of the themes or one of the topics or lessons from the Uzbek curriculum, and then make a song out of those vocabulary words. So I'm going to ask the teachers to choose a song that they really want me to make on a topic, or just choose a topic they want me to do. And I'm going to give myself a limited time of, let's say, 30 minutes, and try to write really simple lyrics that could be used for students. And I think that it's an example of putting our own spin on how we teach and learn. And it's interesting because in the United States, teachers usually are given a curriculum or a direction in terms of a map of, you need to hit this point, this point, this point, this point, and what you're teaching. But the materials are not often given to you. They may be, but you often need to create them on your own, or work with a group, community of practice, and collaborate in creating them. So in Uzbekistan, it's a different context and a different dynamic, where the whole country is using one textbook, and teachers can be creative, but as well, a lot of the entry exams are based on your ability to not only memorize grammar, but be able to express ideas in a very formulaic way, because of that's what the test is asking. So, the way we learn and what we learn is based on whatever we're being tested on and whatever we value. So I found that interesting, because in the US, they asked me, how do American teachers teach? And I didn't have one answer, because there's not one American teacher. There's also not one type of American. We're all quite diverse in our upbringing and cultural and social experiences as being just American. So I just said, in different districts, you will have a curriculum map. You will have these points that you need to teach, but the way you get there is different. Of course, if you're doing a standardized, exam, such as, AP, which are advanced placement exams, then you would be following a very specific series of lessons in order to get everyone ready for that test. So that's one of the differences that I think is really important, is this kind of way of putting our own individual spin on how we teach. I would like to share that I had the opportunity to do a little Halloween celebration with some of the other teachers, and I really liked that. We went to a restaurant bar that is called Steam here in Tashkent. What I've enjoyed a lot about Tashkent is the level of restaurants and I would say it's a cosmopolitan city, meaning there's different people from different parts of the world, and that makes it unique because every place has its own unique flavor. New York is also very cosmopolitan, but in a different way. So I've been able to eat different foods. I'll just share that. I've had a Georgian food. There's a couple Georgian restaurants. I've had Armenian food yesterday. It was very delicious. Something called chorovad, which just means barbecue. I've had Korean food with two other English teachers. Two of them actually had lived in Korea. I think Jetson and Josh. They're really good to speak to, and I think it's great. The expat community. We always want to spend time together, so that's nice. Obviously, delicious Uzbek food. At times a bit heavy, but I do like it, and I haven't tried all the different types, so I'll have to keep going at it. And those are the main types I've had so far. In terms of self-care, I've taken, when I have the opportunity, I go to do yoga. I found a nice yoga studio. I try to go to the gym. I mean, we have a gym at the hotel where I'm working, but because I'm doing these trainings in a hotel, but I don't always stay in working out. I mean, I did for a couple days during lunch and this and that, but I need to be more intentional. The reason I need to be intentional is this Sunday, I'm hoping to go to Samarkand, which is another city south of Tashkent, and I'm going to be participating in a 10-kilometer race. I'm not going to win. I'm just going for the experience. I actually have a wig. Let me show you. That I think it'd just be kind of funny. I mean, I don't need to, but I think it'd be funny to race with this just because I don't think anyone in Uzbekistan would be racing with wigs and kind of having fun in that way. It's a very, maybe American, I'm not sure, maybe they're in Europe, but they kind of have, they make jokes out of things. And I think this would be really fun to make a joke out of my race. Not like I don't take it seriously, but just to bring joy. So we'll see if I have the courage to wear this. I wore it during Halloween. It's my black wig. And in terms of language learning, I have my books. I'm not studying them a lot. I am hearing a lot of Russian, much more than Uzbek. I'm definitely a beginner in both. I would say that I need to make more lists and also make a lot more free associations, because my my strength, if you were to say between the three, visual, although there's many more, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, I'd have to say probably my first one is kinesthetic in terms of how I remember things. I remember things best when I'm doing them or when I'm talking to someone or they're talking to me and I have some sort of a relationship. But it's a close second. My auditory learning is also pretty strong. The way that I do it, and I'm going to share right now, I do this kind of naturally, but I don't necessarily do it intentionally. Where when I hear a word such as deliko, which means far, it reminds me of another word in English, delicate. So, deliko. Don't be so delicate, go far. Go far from me. Maybe that one didn't make sense. Let me try another one. But deliko, delicate is the connection. The next one is blisko. Blisko means close. So please go, please go, please go, please go. You're too close to me. It's another example of drogi. I guess expensive. So don't be a druggie. That's too expensive. Don't do that. What else? These are free association mnemonic devices. Everyone will make it on their own in their own way. I met a teacher, his name is Hayatollah, and he's actually linking all of these into a story. So each of the words would be linked in a story in Uzbek that he would remember, and then those stories of those words would have connections with the English vocabulary words. So he's connecting sound from his first language to an English concept in order to have better reading comprehension skills for the IELTS exam. So here people are really into taking the IELTS exam because it gives you a lot more opportunities. Financially, you get more pay if you have a very good score in it, and it also opens up opportunities to go abroad. And this is what I want to do more intentionally. I said I wanted to do even 5 a day. I mean, I have conversations with people, but I don't really intentionally sit down calmly and just write lists. And that's what I saw him doing, and I really liked it. So as a language learner, I think it'd be really good practice. Also repeating songs, kind of karaoke style. I'm going to start doing that more intentionally when I have time. I work pretty long hours. I usually start at, I leave my home around 7:30 and I get home around 7 most nights. So it's pretty long. That's in terms of language learning. In terms of music, I did find a person who plays the santur. It's, I guess in Uzbekistan they call it the chang. It's a Persian instrument. In Armenia they call it the kanon. I'm sure they also have it in Turkey. It's a very common instrument originally from Persia. And you can play with kind of mallets or with your fingers on strings as if it was the inside of a piano. And I would like to start even once a week meeting with a teacher. I found a music school that will allow me to do that. So anything musical really makes me feel alive. I don't necessarily remember things very easily, like long sequences of ideas or long sequences of music or anything, but I'm quite at ease with improvisation. So I think that that element would be nice once I get a structure. That's in terms of music. I've discussed about food. I've talked about self-care. I try to do yoga 2 times a week if I can, and a little bit of breathing exercises. And that's my overview. Almost finishing my 4th week here in Tashkent. And thank you. Look forward to giving you more updates very soon after I do my race in Samarkand.